A lot of people have had a lot of questions about Joe Biden and his mental capabilities. Is he in the middle of cognitive decline? Certainly has looked that way to many of us on this channel, observing him throughout his speeches and the way that he's been comporting himself out on the public stage. Now, Republican congresspeople also wanting to know more. We have a doctor. The guy's name is Ronny Jackson. You can see him down here in the bottom right. He's the individual who drafted this letter dated on February 8th. We're just getting notice that this was something that was actually sent, and it's going over to Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, and it's a doctor. Doctors in the House says here, Mr. President Biden, we again write to you to express concern with your current cognitive state. We believe that, regardless of your gender, age, or political party, all presidents should follow the example set by the former President Donald Trump, America's favorite president, to document and demonstrate sound mental abilities. And remember, Donald Trump did do one of these cognitive exams. We've got a clip of that we're going to save for the end of this segment. The doctor writes to Biden, says, while you underwent your annual physical exam on November 19th in 2021, you either did not have a cognitive test or the results from your test were withheld from the public. Either you didn't do it or you didn't tell us what the results were. White House physician, somebody named Kevin O'Connor, DO, attested to you, quote, being fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency in a purely physical manner. However, we're not talking about whether you can walk up a flight of stairs, which you can't. You are also worried about your cognitive and mental abilities. And so this is being drafted by Ronny Jackson. And it's a pretty bold letter to go out to the president of the United States. It's saying, hey, you know, we're of course a part of the political opposition, but we have some questions about whether you are even mentally there. Are you capable of governing this country? Because it's an important job. It's the presidency. Who is this person? Is it just some sort of Republican right-wing hack? Well, let's take a look. Wikipedia tells us Ronny Jackson is an American physician. Yes, he is a Republican, but he's also a United States Navy Rear Admiral, somebody who retired from that, and he's a congressional representative. He's over there in the Texas 13th Congressional District. And he is somebody who has worked with other presidents preceding this current tenure of his time. He's a congressperson now, but prior to that, he was part of the White House medical unit in the mid-2000s under George W. Bush. He was the physician to the president from 2013 to 2018 under Barack Obama and Donald Trump. So sort of bipartisan, was a doctor for Obama as well as Trump and even presidents preceding. He nominated him for the Veteran Affairs position. That didn't happen. Let's see here, this continues on, 2019, Jackson retired from the Navy, decided to run for office, and won. And so now he is a congressman who is also a doctor, somebody who has been a medical provider to prior presidents, three of them, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump. And so maybe he has an idea of what the office requires. And given the fact that he's a doctor, maybe Joe Biden in the White House should listen to it. Here's what the doctor writes. He says, as you may remember, several members of Congress sent you a letter on this issue back last year in June, and you didn't even reply to it. Very rude. Since then, the American people have continuously lost faith in your ability to effectively and competently handle your duties as president. Your poll numbers have been in the toilet. Let's take a look at what some of the polls show. 48% of voters disagree with the statement that you're mentally fit. Okay, 46% say, yeah, you're good. 19-point change. It's down 19 points. 48% of the voters actually don't believe that he is mentally fit to handle the job. Independents, by a margin of 23 points, do not believe you're mentally fit. And 50% of voters disagree with the statement that you are, quote, in good health. Another 29-point shift since October 2020. So America and Americans are seeing the consequences of this downward trend. The doctor is going to refer us over to the Alzheimer Association. Are there indicators, indicia of Alzheimer? Here's what he says. It lists changes in mood and personality, including, quote, being easily upset as one of 10 signs of mental decline. If you just get agitated, easily upset, Could be a problem. You displayed, Mr. President, this type of mood change during a cabinet meeting January 24, 2022. We've got a clip of this. When you apparently did not know your microphone was on, after finishing your opening remarks, you called a White House reporter, Doocey, a stupid son of a bee in response to a question on inflation. And is this cognitive decline or is this just Joe Biden? Let's listen.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Well, so I don't know if that's a sign of Alzheimer or if that's just Joe Biden, just being Joe Biden. But there are other examples. That's not even the worst of them. We've talked about many of them on this channel. We have a live show that we do every weekday. You should subscribe if you're not already. Here is another example. In December 2016, 2021 press conference at the White House, there was a COVID-19 response team that was talking to the media, and Joe Biden was there, couldn't even read the numbers in front of him. The doctor says, Joe, when attempting to announce the total number of the population who got the booster jab, you said 57. 570. I don't want to read it. I'm not sure I got the number right. Before being corrected by Anthony Fauci with the right statistic of 57 million. So Joe Biden struggles a lot with some of these things. Here's what that sounded like.
Vaccinated, 570, I don't want to read, I'm not sure I got the right number. The total number of boosters.
Come on, Joe.
57 million boosters.
Okay, so people with cognitive abilities that are continuing to function, like Fauci, well, that's arguable. He is now correcting the president because he can't read it from a stinking script that is right in front of him. Problematic, as you can see. We can follow, there's additional trends here. The doctor writes, this is not just a recent thing, as your mental decline and your forgetfulness have become more apparent over the past 2 years. On the campaign trail, you often forgot the names of the states that you were in. The Alzheimer's Association points out that, quote, confusion with time or place as another 10 signs of symptoms of mental decline. So if you're in Georgia and you say, I'm in Alabama, that's a problem. In February 2021, you publicly forgot the purpose of your visit to survey the winter storm damage in Texas. Then in March, you forgot the name of the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, and the Defense Secretary. We played that clip here on this channel. Lastly, in May, you told a story from your tenure as vice president in which you stated that you regularly visited your sick mother via the Amtrak in 2013, even though she passed away in 2010. So some of those, is he just mixing dates? Is he just a busy man? Is he just all over the place? I don't know what state I'm in. Or is it something more serious? Well, the doctor has some questions. Says the American people should have the absolute confidence in their president. Says they deserve to know that they can perform their duties as well as have full transparency on the mental capabilities of their highest elected leader. And so, Mr. President, to achieve this, we urge you to submit a cognitive test immediately. Odds on that happening? Probably less than 0%. We implore you to then publish the results so the American people know the full mental and intellectual health of their president. They said this is not an unprecedented request, by the way. Starting in 2018, political lunatics on the right, on the left, and members of the media clamored for your predecessor, then President Donald Trump, to take a test. In response, White House physician conducted a Montreal cognitive assessment, the MOCA. President Trump did that, and he excelled. We have a clip of that on the next slide. Here, though, according to Dr. Zayed Nasreddin, the person who actually created the test, the MOCA test, very simple screening tool to show mental impairment. Test is being administered when they should be administered when they start noticing a mental decline, like America has noticed. This particularly includes forgetfulness on ordinary tasks, like where you are, which you have exhibited very recently. We believe a MOCA test should be a routine part of every physical examination for every president going forward. And Donald Trump, remember, he took a test. Remember Ronny Jackson? Remember this clip that came out July 22nd, 2020? Donald Trump is talking about Ronny Jackson, the very doctor who wrote the letter. And here Donald Trump is giving us an example, a recounting of the exam that he took. And my question to you, my friends, do you think that Joe Biden could pass this test? Let's listen to what happened here.
I was Dr. Ronny Jackson. I said, is there some kind of a test, an acuity test? And he said, there actually is, and he named it, whatever it might be. And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult. Like a memory question, it's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Yes.
So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Yeah, got it. Perfect.
Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. Okay, now he's asking you other questions.
Right, to mess you
Other
up.
questions. And then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question?
Yeah.
Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Yeah.
If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy.
It's
but for
not
me,
that
it was
easy.
easy.
It's not that easy, and they made fun of him. You saw in that video, they had that little music, they were doing the rewind thing, and this was in 2020. They were sort of dunking on him. Oh, he passed a cognitive test. Wow, what a stellar leader. Well, my question to them, do you think that Joe Biden can pass that test? Do you think that he could remember what he had for breakfast any morning? That he could go person, woman, man, camera, TV, or anything like that? I don't think so. Donald Trump was able to get it, though. And so this is the end of the letter from Ronny Jackson, the same doctor who administered the test to Donald Trump. Says that we should be giving this to everybody. This is not a partisan issue. All presidents should take this. As a Democrat representative, Jamie Raskin, had said previously, quote, it's not hard to think that there will be future situations where the president's physical and mental state may create issues for us. He was talking about Donald Trump back then, but now we're talking about Joe Biden. At the time of this quote, Raskin introduced legislation to establish an independent commission that would examine a president's fitness for office and determine, quote, whether the president is mentally or physically and unable to discharge duties of the office. Ronny Jackson now, who used to be the doctor, says we agree with these statements. As such, we encourage you to follow the example set by President Trump, undergo the cognitive test as soon as possible, and immediately make the results available for the American people. Signed here by Dr. Ronny Jackson, a member of Congress. And what's hilarious about this is he's also CCing the president's doctors, physician to the president, and of course, America's, unwelcomed doctor at this point, Anthony Fauci, the MD, chief medical advisor to the president. So do you think either one of these two medical professionals are going to consult with the president and say, yeah, it is probably time for you to take this test? Signed off on by a lot of other different Congress people, Jim Banks, Smith, Johnson, Wilson, Andy Biggs. We've got Andy Harris, Murphy, Weber, Gibbs, Lamborn, Van Drew. Who else? We have Tenney. We have Boebert, Lauren Boebert's on here. Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, Madison Cawthorn, Jeff Duncan, David Roser, Tricia Mann, Mary Miller, and you can see Burgess Owens, all saying that, the president of the free world, America, is somebody who probably should be capable and competent. There were a lot of people when Trump was in office hyperventilating about that. He took the little test. It seemed like he did a pretty good job. My question is, why don't they give the same test to Joe Biden? And if they did, how would he do? And if we knew that, what would America demand? Because next in line is Kamala Harris, and I'm not sure that she could pass that test either. Let me know what you have to say about all of this and more down in the comments below. I'd love it if you subscribed and stuck around. We have a live show that we do every weekday, and it's a lot more fun when you're there. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.